Good evening, everybody. And I want to say a special thanks and good evening to our Vice President who was here. He was just telling me how tired he was. He's been having a long day. So I'm glad we were able to start at 7 o'clock. I also want to say to him a special thanks for committing almost a month ago to come to this event, because what it allowed us to do was to promote this event very effectively and efficiently. And you can see we have a full house tonight. So thank you very much, sir. So, having said that and established that and agreed on that, most of you are not here to hear me speak tonight. So I'm not going to be up here long. And my good friend Philip Finance told me quite clearly that he didn't come here to listen to me speak. So I'm not going to be up here for a long time. But I believe it's important that I just go through a couple of things that, you know, what we do as an organization, what we've been doing over the last year or so. And take a little peek in what's going to happen as we move along in this exciting time in this country relevant to business and manufacturing. The last couple of years have been very exciting, but I believe that, you know, based on what I do, from where I sit, it looks as if we're in for one hell of a ride. So I'm going to get some help from my young economists to put up some slides when I'm speaking. Govind, are you ready? So let's go. Let's start with just to get your minds back into who we are as a BSO and talk about our membership. You know, the GMSA, we have what we call subsectors within the organization. And we deal with people like from agriculture, agro-processing, construction, engineering, the extractive industries, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, textiles, ICT, and services. That's what make up the membership. But what is important for us to know today, if we look at the membership over the years, you see what has happened in terms of the growth, and that is relevant to the country in terms of where we were a couple of years ago. We are now heading towards 400, and every day we get applications coming into us to join the GMSA. And I believe that's something that we want to remain relevant. It's not just an application and it's a free pass. There is a certain amount of due diligence that we do to ensure that the people who are coming out of the GMSA to join us are in fact bona fide businesses within those subsectors I just mentioned. But to say to some of the members, and I know there are lots of members here tonight, you know, we haven't raised our fees in a long time. And if you don't know, there's a fellow who works with me by the name of Nizam Hassan. He's our executive director. And he told me just now, he said, you know, I'm leaving you because you have to pay me more money. He wants to double his salary. So I have no alternative, but we're going to raise the fees next year. So if you want to keep Nizam, you guys need to pay us some more money next year, okay? And that's all on Nizam. The only reason why we're raising it is because you have to pay him more money. So let's get them to some business. So in the last year or so, we have seen people from all over this world, not only come to us, but various BSOs too. I recognize the President of the Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Kester. Scoping exercises, you know, banks, NGOs, BSOs, foreign embassies, government delegations, and that continues to happen. But I'm not going to bore you with all the people that you've met during the year. I'm just going to focus on three that I think are important for you to know, because it has good, as we move forward with these engagements, these could be important to some of our members financially and in terms of improving their businesses. We have been talking to an organization called the International Trade Center. And this is what the International Trade Center is trying to do right now. We've agreed to collaborate to implement activities in the areas of value addition, market linkages, and access to finance to increase MSMEs' incomes through better participation in formal markets while improving the value chain competitiveness of Guyana's fruits and vegetables, roots and tubers, and the seafood sector through the implementation of the Alliance of Action approach. Now, let me break it down in layman's language. What that means is that we are collaborating with this organization that will have significant benefit for our members of the agro-processing sector. And this is in the capacity of grants. So a number of these small and medium-sized agro-processors will be benefiting from this alliance that we are forming with this organization for capacity building within the business, especially as it relates to export. So that's one thing I want to share with you. The second one has to do with the EU Caribbean Regional Security Program. It's a 4-year project financed by the EU and implemented by the SMEs. Then we have, and I think Rafi can speak about this a little bit, and Roseanne Volcanic is here. The GMSA is part of the 3rd Joint Monitoring and Review Committee overseeing the Forest Law Enforcement and Government Trade Voluntary Partnership Program. It's called FLEGT. Well, that for the people in the forestry sector, has significant impact in terms of, again, the business that they're in and markets within the EU. And thirdly, one of the more interesting engagements we have taken on very recently, and again, Rafik is heading this up, is trying to mobilize the small furniture manufacturers in Guyana. There is going to be a delegation coming in from the EU in the first quarter of next year with a specific interest of looking at furniture from Guyana. And we believe this is an excellent opportunity for the manufacturers of furniture, especially using the local woods. And if you talk to Rafik, he can talk about this whole night. If you get him up here, he will tell you, Rafik knows about wood. But I'm just talking about wood in the forest, nothing else. Rafik knows plenty of things about wood, and the use of wood, how you can use it very effectively. Your minds are in the gutter. So yes, we are really looking forward to these 3 engagements. I mean, I can tell you much more. We've spoken to people like from the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and they can talk to all different banks that come here, but they're mostly scope exercises and so on. But these 3, I believe, are important to us that we've been doing. Let's talk about a couple of events that we had during the year. We collaborated with government to attend some of the job fairs. We were in New York. We had a very successful ONCAP. And for those of us in this room, I'm sure you know what ONCAP is. ONCAP is a place where we bring all of our agro-processors to a physical place. Nobody pays for anything. We get good sponsorship from the government of Guyana and other sponsors. And that's been a success story for us. And this year, it was a bigger success for us. I just want to talk a little bit about something as an extension of ONCAP. So over the years, we've been working with a portal to be able to put the products of our members on this portal. We've made a lot of progress with this project. It's ready to go. We need some funding for it. We are talking to a number of people. But right now, it's in a place where we have partnered with MMG, GT&T, MMG, well, it's not GT&T anymore, One Communication, I think. I get confused sometimes. They change their names so often. But we are working with MMG and a distributor. So it's like a mini Amazon we're trying to create here for our small business owners, where you can actually go on this portal, buy something, and it's delivered to your house. It's quite an exciting project for us. We've started this project almost 3 years now, but we need some funding to move this forward. So that's something we're looking forward to. We partnered with the Suriname Guyana Chamber just a couple of weeks ago. We had a very successful international business conference. And then our good friends ICANN from Keen 360, we had the 2nd annual technological conference in October. And of course, we would have been to Cuba to attend a trade fair in Cuba with some of our members. So those are some of the major events that we had during the year. There are a couple of engagements we have with government. I want to just briefly talk about them because they're a place where we need to move them forward a little bit more. The president of Guyana reached out to us sometime around the middle of the year and talked about us getting involved in the management to support the alcohol processing centers that were being built by the government today. And we have since sent a proposal to the minister, two proposals actually. One is to manage some existing centers, and one is to build a new one for us in Enmore. But those proposals have been there for a while, so maybe at the level of the vice president, we can ask him to just nudge them a little bit to see how we can make it happen. But those are two very exciting projects for us because, we talk about food security and we talk about expansion of business and all that, and we believe that within the membership of the GMSA, we can really manage those facilities at a different level of where it is right now. So, in keeping with what we want to do as let's look a little bit about the future. Where are we going in this country in manufacturing? And I'm going to read something here. I don't like reading, but I'm going to take a chance and read. This is from the Guyana report. The manufacturing sector is critical to any nation. It comprises almost 5% of Guyana's non-oil GDP for the year ended 2023 and generated over 70 billion Guyana dollars. The Bank of Guyana 2024 half-year report estimates that the manufacturing sector output surged by 27.5%, driven primarily by the growth in other manufacturing categories, which expanded by 33%, excluding sugar production. Manufacturing output would reduce, so 30% is the growth in the sector. So, when we look and see what's happening in this country today, if you are in the business of manufacturing, you have got to be excited. I work in a company that's manufacturing, and we've seen the growth in our business for many reasons. One is consumption. There are more people living in this country. Two, it's what is to come. And I'm not going to say too much because I know the Vice President is going to speak about that. But we have one of the biggest issues we always talked about, which is energy, and we know where that's going. You also have the infrastructure development that's taking place in the country that will now bring a market that has never been available to us. One single space, which includes Northern Brazil and Suriname. And that's very exciting for people who are manufacturing here. So, I believe this country is in a place where if you are in this business of manufacturing and small business, you are lucky to be here this time. Because for where I sit or stand right now, I think the future for us is very secure. And given what I've seen in terms of the development plans from the government of the day, I think we are in a good place. And I would like to say to you, stop watching on. You just stop watching on and see what's going to happen. Buy that next machine. Expand your warehouse. You need to get involved because you're going to wake up and find somebody's going to take your business. It's happening to some of us already. Okay? So, I promise not to be up here too long. Philip told me 10 minutes. 10 minutes, man, Philip? Okay. So thank you very much for listening to me. I don't like to read those long speeches. I think those are some of the main things I wanted to cover as the president of the association. It's been an exciting time for us at GMSA. We are very busy. It's continuously meeting people and understanding or the needs of our members. We are, most of our board members, or some of our board members, sit at various boards in the government, and we continue to do that. And we are very happy that the government engages us. I think Ramesh Duku sits in a, Ramesh, wake up. That was deliberate. Ramesh sits on about 3 boards in the government, but I'm going to finish on Ramesh. So we continue to believe that we're offering the kind of support that we need to do, and the government of the day recognizes the members of the board to sit on those organizations. So, I'm rambling now, so thank you very much for listening to me, and on behalf of the GMSA, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2025. Thank you very much.